Hello again, this is Wilson, and today we're going to talk about CSS. So, this entire chapter is about CSS and how we work with CSS along with our HTML. So, let's get started. There are three basic ways to use CSS in our along with our HTML documents. So the first way to insert CSS is basically it's called inline CSS. So how we do this? So we take I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger here. We take any element and we just write the CSS right into it. So for example, I want to take this paragraph element and I'm going to write some CSS that it's going to help to make this, look red. So how do I do that? This is simple. I go style equals and I assign a value. So you see that we can have style as an attribute in an element. So in this case, the value is going to be the CSS rule. So the CSS rule is going to be color. Then we're going to assign the value to red and semicolon. And here it is, our paragraph is red. Now, I can keep adding rules. Like for example, I can change the font size. So to do that, I can go font hyphen size and say, hey, I want this to be 25 pixels big. So I can change it. I can do this again to any element. So let's say I want my H1 be color blue and I want it to be bigger than my paragraph. So I'm going to do again property style equals value, and then I'm going to do color, do blue, and then I'm going to change the font size to maybe 40 px. So as you can see, all the elements have changed. Now, what's the problem? The problem is with this technique is if you start looking at the code starts looking messy. So imagine if I have five paragraphs, 3 headers and images and things like that, and I have to basically change and add this style to every single element in the page. It's gonna get messy and you won't be able to basically read your code properly. So even though this is the way we used to add CSS to our files, we don't do this anymore because it gets messy. So the second way that we can actually do this, and I'm gonna just delete these rules here, so keep it in the way it was. So the second way is actually here in the head element, call an element called as well style. So we come here and we set the same rules. So for the H1, I'll do color blue, and then I'll do font size. I think I said 40 XP, and then for my paragraph, I'll do color red, and then again font size of I'll say 24 in this case. So looks better, but again, it's not quite the way you should do it. By um, by now, the best practice is to actually create uh, external CSS file that's gonna handle all your CSS. That's the best practice, and that's what you are required to do for now on. So I'm gonna remove this. Actually, I'm gonna remove the whole style. And the third way to do this is just to call a link, and I'm gonna call the relationship. It's gonna be style sheet, and then I'm gonna call the href. So here the href is gonna be styles, and then it's gonna be, in this case, normalize. So when I close this, you see right away that my text here in Town Hall change, which is really good. So my normalize is here. So if you go to styles and normalize, this is built-in CSS file that literally I don't want to change it. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Sorry, this one is the one that I'm working. So what I'm gonna do, I load normalize. I'm gonna explain what normalize does in a minute. I'm gonna go here to new, to file, and then new, and then save as, and I'm gonna go to book samples, chapter 4, styles. In here I'm gonna create something like style.css. So I already created a new CSS style. So, and actually I'm gonna do this. So if you notice, I put the HTML document on top, and at the bottom is my CSS document. So I'm gonna do h1 and do the same rule, color blue, and my second rule is gonna be p color red. So what's the problem right now? The problem is that I haven't created a second link to my second CSS. So basically, for each CSS file that you are managing, that's the amount of links that you have to create. So basically, I have to create on a second line, go link, then rel. Again, this is a style sheet, so I'm gonna put style sheet. Then href as the attribute to locate that particular style, so I know that the folder is styles, and then style.css, close it, and now you can see that these rules have been applied to.